Today is July 14th, 2021. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. Let's go ahead and go down our release statuses first, starting with 121. I think the only thing pending here is documentation, and so that's on my plate to look at. I'll try to get to that this week. Next up, we have 122. So code freeze passed last week. I think we got most of what we want in, and so I think now we're mostly just concentrating on the out of tree work that needs to be done. First up is the access modes.
Yeah, so what's left to do here is get the docs in a reviewable state before the 20th. I'm still working on this, and then need to update CSI sanity to assert the node publish volume behavior. And then once the release is cut, we'll update the sidecars.
Sounds good. And you're blocked on the cut, is that right?
Yeah, on updating sidecars and CSI libutils.
Can we just use like a RC build, like a beta build?
Yeah, well, the CSI libutils, I have like a branch where I'm relying on a beta version, but I didn't know if we wanted to check that in.
I think we can.
Okay.
At this point, like I don't imagine there to be significant changes between the beta tag and the official tag. So I think at least to get things unblocked, then
Okay.
I think it'd be good to start using the beta build.
Okay. All right. Then I'll remove whatever blockers I guess I have on the sidecar PRs.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much. From a review standpoint, is it pretty much reviewed and we're just waiting on the tag?
I need to do another look over the sidecar PRs just to make sure, but last time I checked, I think they were pretty much in a good state.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Right, next up we have volume populators.
I think I mentioned last week that this did merge, and the remaining work to be done is integration tests, which I'm working on, docs, and a blog entry. And I'm trying to get all the deadlines straight for those activities. What is the deadline for the blog? You don't remember?
You check. I think it's July something. I just checked the.
Yeah, I know they're soon, so I'm just trying to figure.
Yeah.
They should be checking with you. They didn't ask you the.
No, I got people pinging me on various things. I'm trying to figure out which thing is more urgent.
Okay.
We have a ton of unit tests on the patch that did merge, and I talked to Tim, and he recommended some integration tests to cover like the interactions between all the different modules as being superior to an E2E test, and I agreed, but I'm not familiar with writing integration tests, so that's what I was figuring out. But in parallel, the docs and the blog have to happen.
Mm-hmm. So looking here, the docs placeholder was already due.
Yeah, I got the placeholder in a couple weeks back.
Then the docs PRs have to be ready for review by next Tuesday.
All right.
And then the docs have to be merged, I think the week after, the next Tuesday following that.
Okay.
For blogs, the blog has to be ready for review by Wednesday next week.
Okay, so only got one extra day for the blog. All right, so
yeah. And then both the docs and blogs for features. Oh wait, no, feature blogs. Oh wait, sorry. That was the release blog. Sorry, there's feature blogs, which I think this one is. Feature blogs have to be ready to review by 2 Tuesdays from now.
Okay.
So you got some more time.
Okay, yeah.
You got a week.
All right, so yeah,
Um,
I am basically working on the integration tests and the docs and the blog with
mhm.
an eye towards all of those deadlines.
Yep. Let
So,
me note this down. Oh yeah, there's a question.
oh, I was just thinking related to this for CSI proxy, we might consider also have a blog for GA. It should consider
Yeah, I
as a
think.
blog.
Shing, did we submit a request for Windows?
Yeah, yeah. So that is also should be the same deadline. So so Jin, you may want to pin Deep. I believe his name is on that feature itself. So people probably
Okay.
will be contacting him. I'm not sure what's the status there. Yeah, but yeah, we do have CSI Windows as well there in
Okay,
the blogs.
so we have docs deadline and release blog. I don't know what's the difference. Release blog and the feature
So I
blog.
think we're considered feature blog, not the release blog.
Okay.
A release blog is by the release team will write a summary blog for the 1.22 release. Yeah. So
Yeah, let me just put these down.
Do you know, is that feature blog also part of the website repo?
yes, it is.
Okay.
So I think from this perspective, from the 122 perspective, we requested that we requested feature blogs for Windows GA and the other GA feature, which was the service account GA.
So we actually have quite a, let's see. So right now we have 5. Yeah, so the service account, Windows, and also Ben's volume populator. And there's also a auto delete stateful set. I don't know if that one.
That one has not. Yeah, that one has not merged, so I don't
Okay,
think
so probably
that
it's too
will
late.
make it.
Okay. Yeah, the other one is the cozy, which I'm not sure if they're going to make it either. But anyway, yeah, so probably
But
just.
I think last time, so I think you mentioned last time that they only gave us 2 slots for feature blogs.
That is the release. So on the release blog, they are going to ask you to highlight your, the main themes. That was what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
So that we just
feature blogs.
Feature blog,
have
that's different. Feature blog, you can have as many as you want. Yeah, they are not going to reject you.
Okay.
So I think we opt in 5, the 5 that I just mentioned. Yeah, those. But I think probably we'll only have 3 because auto delete, that one didn't make it, and cozy, I doubt they can make it. Yeah, so it's just Windows, service account token, and populator. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So I think, Ben, from your side, the main thing is just getting all the docs ready.
Yeah.
Do we have like the example populators and stuff that we can publish in the blog?
They need to be slightly updated. They're still using the old API, but yeah, like I can provide links to all those things and examples.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, the blog should be a comprehensive version of it, whereas the docs will just obliquely refer to enabling populators to exist.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. All right. Next we have Windows.
Yes, so this one I still like working on that, plan to attend the next week. working group, infrastructure working group, to talk about this. Basically, it's a manual process, so we want to make sure, decide what is the name for holding this.
Mm-hmm.
What is the bucket name, like a directory name for holding this? And then I think Monday we had a meeting and decide today we are going to cut the final V1 release.
Okay. Can we double check the do we have like the versioning set up properly in the staging bucket? Like do the
Yes,
binaries in that bucket
sure.
have the version name in it?
Right. Yes, that's I think we verified.
Okay, sounds good. I think before you cut the final 1.0 today, I think I just went through the docs PR again. I had a couple questions on the command line arguments. So yeah, just take a look at that when you get a chance.
Okay, yeah, I think I actually need to update that. I will do that today, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so I think those were the major features that we're tracking. Next up, we have a couple bug fixes. I think first up is marking the volume as uncertain when expansion fails. Looks like this is merged. This merged into master. Okay. Awesome.
So then when I should consider cherry pick?
I think when we have, I guess, confidence in the stability of the fix. So I guess I would monitor like the volume expansion tests and make sure that it doesn't seem more flaky than normal.
Okay. And so only after 122 release, right? I can cherry pick to 122.
It looks like it's in 122.
Oh, it's in. Oh, okay.
It merged. Yeah, it went into the master branch, which I think is going to be used to cut for 122.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. So we can mark that as done. I think this one, there's still some work to be done. Is that right? For the detached case?
Yeah, it's
okay.
an issue still need to discuss. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So I think that's all we're tracking left for 122. Let's go down to our miscellaneous topics. First up, we have a snapshotter issue. Xing, is this an item you added?
Oh, sorry, I was talking, mute. Yeah, so we actually talked about this on Monday, but I think we should talk about this again when you are here. Yeah, so this person, he was asking whether he can contribute to this Helm chart for this deployment, CRD and the snapshot controller. Well, I think it's helpful, but we don't really have resources to maintain this if it's there. And also we don't really have this for anything else. So it's also a little weird to only have Helm chart for this feature, but not anything else. Yeah, so just want to,
Yeah, I mean, like, so for like the sidecars, like they have to be bundled with the CSI drivers. So
yeah,
like it doesn't make sense to have a Helm chart for the sidecar. The snapshot controller.
This is not sidecar. This is
yeah.
I think he's only talking about the controller and the CRDs.
I mean, theoretically, like this one is like independent of the CSI drivers. So you could use a Helm chart to install it if you want. I guess I think if they're willing to contribute to it, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think we probably just have to mark it somewhere that
as unsupported, but then what's the point of having that here? I'd rather not, if I cannot support it, I don't want it to be there. So like so for example, right now we are working on CSI snapshot. So we just have a script that installs this. Right? So I assume other CSI drivers probably are doing the same thing right now if it's not in the distro. So Yang is not here today. I wonder if OpenShift deploy this one.
Jan is here.
Oh, Yang's here. Okay. Hey, do you deploy this? Huh?
We don't use Helm. We have our own code.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Do you deploy this one as part of a?
Yes.
Oh, you do. Okay. Yeah, so
we have our own deployment.
Some noise.
I think Jan's trying to say they have their own deployment mechanism.
Okay. So, but it is kind of taken care of by the distro then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess, yeah. Unless if a lot of people want it and they also want to maintain it. Otherwise, I think right now I'm hesitant of taking this.
Yeah, I guess if I don't know, if this person is willing to continue to maintain it, then maybe.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah,
sure.
But like the main thing is we won't really like be testing it.
Yeah, we don't know what else. There's some background noise there. Okay. Yeah. So the thing is, I'd like to have more people who can actually maintain it if we accept this. That's the thing. And also, I also don't know if this is the right place for that. Normally the Helm chart will be in a different repo. I think you have your Helm chart in the same repo where you develop the controller.
Oh, I don't actually use Helm, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, but I thought normally those are in a different place, I thought.
I see. I like having the deployment in the same repo where it's developed because it's just easier to find.
But we
like
can,
less places to go.
We have the YAMLs. That's how we deploy it today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward actually, right? You just use the YAMLs and then I'm not sure what Helm chart help us. We already have those deployment YAMLs. I guess I just, I don't know.
I think the main thing I would be concerned with is like if we have to update like 2 places now whenever we have to change something about deployment.
Yeah.
We would if we change something in the manifest, then we have to update 2 places and keeping those in sync.
Because we do still want to keep the YAMLs, right? Normally that's like the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, I think our CI testing, do we use? Yeah, I think we use that. We use those YAMLs when we setting up the CI environment.
I have a couple of things to say about this. So the first one is that Helm charts, I've seen them used in SMB driver.
Okay.
If someone wants to take a look at a reference implementation, but that's a driver and this is a sidecar, right? And the other thing about maintaining duplicate copies is that probably this might be solved using a different tool. Instead of Helm, we could use Customize. Mm-hmm. And with that, overrides are another set of YAML files. We would just keep some base files and that will be it.
Yeah, I guess do you know if like you can use like
Use the
I think the
YAML,
main thing
I mean
is
the
that
or Helm
Helm
Chart
there's
refer
kind
to
of
the,
like
uh-huh.
oh sorry, there's like this kind of two camps, like one camp likes to use Helm and another camp likes to use Customize. But
okay.
I kind of don't want to go with like having to maintain three things. But I
Mhm.
think definitely in terms of like having to keep YAMLs updated, I think Customize is better in that regard because Customize applies patches on top of like a base manifest.
Mhm.
But whereas with Helm, I'm not sure if it has a similar thing to help avoid like duplication.
Mm. Yeah, not familiar with the Helm either. Okay.
Can we create
One
like an
thing-
internal place for that kind of thing to be published and just say this is best effort, not officially supported,
Well, but,
and then let some interested party deal with it?
but do we even want that? I mean, so we have that for drivers, like driver docs is kind of, I mean, it's like that, right? Each driver just put a link there.
I mean, we have the same problem with our CSI driver, in fact, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to figure out like what different users seem to demand different ways of installing the same thing, and I'm not sure what the best way is to deal with that, because there are these different camps and there isn't a clear winner, and so you're sort of forced to support all of the ways, and
Do you actually have
it becomes
to,
unscalable.
do you actually, like for your driver, do you actually support different ways of deployment? Because
A couple of them, but not all of them, and we keep getting asked for more. It never ends. Like we're up to people want to install it 5 different ways, and we're saying no. that's too much for us to test and maintain and publish and everything. So, but I don't know what the answer is, because I don't see the problem going away. As long as people are inventing new ways to install stuff in Kubernetes, they're going to come to us and demand that they can install CSI that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
know.
think Customize is less than a year old, right? Like I've never heard of it a year ago, and now like everyone's saying this is the way to do it. And people used to go on about how operators were the best way to do things, and I haven't heard about operators that much lately. You know, it's like the flavor of the month for installing stuff.
Yeah, I agree. This is a problem, but I think I think I don't know if there's a good solution here. We probably need to go to SIG CLI and be like pick a standard so that we don't have to. I think it's SIG CLI that's in charge of. Well, maybe not.
Is it? It's what is that? The class lifecycle, right? That's the distro. Is that? Well, that's like our distro, right? Like the cluster admin, those tools.
I think SIG CLI is technically in charge of like deployment tools like Customize and those variants. But yeah, I think the issue of like having all these different options, and it's pretty hard on the repos to have to support all of them.
Yeah.
So I agree that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay, we can just stay with the simple YAMLs.
Yeah, one thing that we did, like, so back in the early days when it was like only Helm, one of the things that I did in the local volume repo was we updated the Helm chart, but then we had a script that would just dump the YAML generated from the Helm chart, and then we use that for our testing. So at least that lets us, that solves the problem of having to generate or to maintain multiple versions of the manifests.
Is the Helm chart still used there? That's somewhere in our...
Yeah, I think people use it.
Is that still in our repo? One of the repo that...
Yes, it's in the same repo as the code, because I feel like that's easier, but for discovery.
So that's the one under the SIGs, right?
Mhm.
Kubernetes 6.
Yeah.
What is that local? What is that called? Local provision?
Yeah, the local provisioner.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we did. But now that we have customize also in the picture, now it's like, well,
Is customized the thing that was invented by SIG CLI to like try to solve this
yes,
problem?
I think so.
Because this is like the classic, you know, you have a bunch of different standards, and in the attempt to get rid of them, you invent a new one.
Yes.
So, it might be just a fundamentally unsolvable problem.
Maybe.
Or maybe in the long run, it will win out and the other ones will go away. And then it will become clear that that's what we should support. But I like the idea of just having some simple YAML and not pretending that it's a complete solution, and saying, look, you have to do a little bit of work on your end, because then the expectations are set appropriately.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And also, actually, we also have the webhook, right? So he's only talking about CRD and snapshot controller. Then what about the webhook? Yeah, so I think. Okay, so we'll probably just say we don't do it now.
Yeah, I think unless like, you know, someone's willing to just constantly maintain it.
That's the thing we don't know, right? I mean, people are very enthusiastic in the beginning, but then there's some changes happen, and then
Another thing for the snapshot controller in particular is that we've seen that sometimes we have to deploy only the CRDs first, and then after some time, the controller and the webhook. So if we create a Helm chart, that's like a single unit, right? But we need to deploy two things separately.
Yeah. Of course, that definitely will. If people use that, then that will make sure you're installing the right order. That definitely, that is definitely true. But still, there are just so many different ways of deploying things.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Next topic.
Yeah, so I also added this one. This is so I think we can deprecate 2.1 now. Can we? This has already been more than 1 year. So can we just formally say deprecate, this is deprecated, mark it as deprecated, because we still get some PRs to backport bugs into that.
Yeah,
then,
I mean, I don't know if we need to actually deprecate it. I think we just say we stop supporting it.
So yeah, so do we want to? Yeah, I'm not saying we need to like announce something, but I mean on that, in the the releases, that we probably need to add a note there. Otherwise, I'm going to forget about it in a few months. What is deprecated, what is not? I mean, do we also want to have a standard or something, or is it just we have to look at each repo and decide? I think this is I think Yang was talking about. Okay, maybe we could follow Kubernetes. They just stop supporting it beyond.
Yeah, so I think we updated our policy, right, to say that we stop supporting the minor branch after a year.
It's not an absolute. That's why I'm asking this question. It says, if you look at the doc, so do we want to tighten that? Maybe take a look and see. It says we have to support that for at least a year. That's it. Didn't say then after that it will deprecate it. So that's why I was looking for something more absolute. Does that mean we automatically deprecate? What does that? And then what does so when we say we deprecate? Well, actually, we mean, so you are saying that we support that for at least a year. That means after 1 year, we don't support it anymore, meaning we don't fix bugs anymore. Is that what that means? Or do we still need like a deprecation period? I mean,
no, I think it's just
stop supporting.
Yeah, No, I
Okay.
think it's just we stopped supporting it after a
After
year.
one.
I mean,
At least 1 year.
yeah,
Okay. I think
we
maybe
can
then we need to change this a little
probably
bit.
reword it a little bit, but it's basically the 1 year is like, we will support it up to 1 year.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit vague. It says as needed basis for, so that's why I was thinking like every time we want to deprecate something, we still need to, and we want to stop supporting something.
Yeah,
We still
I
need
think
to
we can
talk
change
about
this
it.
to say, instead of 4 at least, we can say up to 1 year.
So just say we will also remove the as needed. Is there need to?
No,
support-
no, you
we want to
can keep
that.
as needed, but
Yeah.
instead of 4 at least, just replace it with up to.
Up to 1 year. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, I'm just wondering if we can just automatically say we stop supporting it after 1 year, or still we
Yes.
should. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the change we want to
What do you
make.
mean?
We'll say we'll support it up to 1 year, and
Okay.
then that implies after a year we stop supporting
Mhm.
it.
Okay. All right, then that sounds good. Do we also have something that says that we have to always support 3 releases? I think that's something that Yang brought up, but we are not really regularly releasing all the sidecars every time. So if we just,
I don't think we say anything about number of releases we have to support, but it's basically just we support it for a year,
okay,
which
sure.
ends up being like 2 or 3 releases.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think he was using the example from Kubernetes. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Since we don't really release every 4 months, right? So we're not exactly doing that for some sidecars. Yeah, that sounds good. I think that will solve my.
Yeah. And I think there's still an action item on me to update our docs page to actually like put the date of when we release the first minor release. That way it's easier to tell when something goes out of support.
Yeah, I think that our document also, because I think we still have some, at least a snapshot, we have some very old releases still listed in that table.
Yeah. I mean, we could also just, I guess we could just remove all the old releases from the table. I don't know how important it is to keep it for just historical reasons. I guess
we don't, but at least
they can go to the actual repo to see the older releases.
I think if we keep that there, then we should add an end date. I don't think right now we have an end date there saying, no longer supported. We don't have that there. I mean, that will cause confusion. People thought everything listed is supported.
I guess what do people think about just removing the releases that are no longer supported on our docs page?
I think that's fine for me.
That's fine with me too.
So
I guess
would that affect releases that are required for Kubernetes releases that are still supported? Like,
so let me try to dig up some.
We have some users on astonishingly old versions of Kubernetes, and that requires us to install relatively old sidecars.
Like, I think technically, say just looking at the attacher page, like I think everything below this would be removed. When did we release the 2.2? Yeah, we released 2.2 more than a year ago, so I think basically everything below this would be removed.
Yeah, but like,
and then
if a user was using Kubernetes 1.12, for example, like they can't use external attacher v1.1.1, they have to be on an older one.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess the other thing we could do is we could have 2 tables. One with the first table will be like the supported versions, and then the second table is unsupported versions, but we just keep it here as a reference if someone really, really needs an old version that will no longer be supported.
I think that's valuable because you wouldn't believe how people expect stuff to work on old versions of Kubernetes. They don't want to upgrade Kubernetes, but they want everything else to continue to work. It's very.
And also, probably we should, in that case, we should add like a maximum version, Kubernetes version. So
Well, in principle, there is no maximum version, right? Everything is backwards compatible forever, in theory.
Is it backward compatible forever? Some of those, like we have breaking changes.
Provisioner has definitely had some maximums. So this one maximum was 119 for some of these other
I think if
ones.
we should probably, like, if we remove it now, maybe we should add like 1.22 or something at least, because otherwise we don't know what's going to happen down the road and they keep using it.
Well, I think we know.
To the extent that sidecars consume like alpha and beta APIs, yeah, like those can be phased out. But I can't imagine. I mean, the rule is supposed to be you upgrade Kubernetes and nothing breaks, right? It would be pretty exceptional.
Unless something in Kubernetes got deprecated and removed, which is what happened for Provisioner. In the Provisioner, there was this API that got removed, and that's why we have this 119 maximum.
Okay, so specific deprecations can cause something that used to work to stop working if it relies.
It actually happens more often than you thought. We also run into something in 1.21. There was this self-link thing got removed, then suddenly plugin stopped.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, that's the one done.
That's the 119 thing.
Oh, okay.
And you know, we knew about this. They followed the deprecation policy of 1 year, and we have warned about this every single provisioner release for a year. Every single release we have this note saying that 119 is the maximum version. You have to upgrade your external provisioner version to something greater than 1.4. And this notice has been in every single release for a year, and still people ended up breaking.
Okay, well, let's keep the tables for reference, or have a way to extract that same information for the occasional user that doesn't want to upgrade Kubernetes and still wants a CSI driver that works. Because that's the use case that we have for looking at the bottom rows of the table, is when someone comes to us and says, you know, I don't want to upgrade Kubernetes, but I want to upgrade Trident. What am I supposed to use? We got to figure it out.
But then if they have a problem,
if they have a problem in the sidecar, yeah, they're hosed. But sometimes, like, we're just trying to fix a bug in Trident and keep it running on an old version of Kubernetes, and you just have to find the right sidecar to keep it going.
Okay.
And that's also a challenge. Sometimes we got questions because people don't know how each sidecars are compatible with each other, like so many different versions. They don't know, like, this external provisioner working with what attacher, things like that. It's also complicated.
That
theoretically there shouldn't be that much dependency between them.
Well, there was someone who I think never changes the snapshot, which is I think alpha, and then keep updating provisioner.
What matters is, do they have a common Kubernetes version incompatible?
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. That's why I was saying. I said, well, whenever you update your provisioner, you should also update the snapshot, and don't try to keep it. It's no longer compatible.
Okay. So I guess conclusion is, let's have two tables instead, a supported table and an unsupported table. That should hopefully make our release support more clear.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. All right, any other topics? Cool. Then we'll end for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.